Alright, so we're at the mine site.
Here's my little guide rail. So there you go, there's the windlass, all done. Now this is your little brake here, piece of rope tied to your handle, so all you need to do is slip this off here, slip that off, and you can see that I can push it sideways, and I'm pushing it pretty hard. That's going nowhere. I ran out of nails. Obviously I need to put some more nails in it just for reinforcing, but that is my windlass. So your bucket comes up here, as you can see, there it is there. Very simple. All you do, wind this, leave some grease on the wood, stop it sticking so much. That comes up through the hole there without those pieces of wood there, those little pieces of wood, and then you lock it off. Put the lock on the handle at that. Put the lock of the handle like there. Put it on there, and if that was full, which it's not, but if it was, I'd put the lock on it. And then all you got to do is lift it off that hook, carry it over here, and dump it down the ore chute that I'm going to make here. Out of this old dead stump. Very simple setup. All I've done is notched it in place. You can see what I've done. That's done by hand. I didn't have my chainsaw to finish that off, so I've just done it by hand because the chainsaw was blunt. So I've done it with just a hacksaw. There's your bit of bracing. It's not really flash, you know, it's not the best, but it will do. Oh, I also blocked up that hole like I said I would, so I can actually get down here now. It's a bit slippery because it's wet, but I can actually get down here now, and I'm happy because all that edge there, if that goes, it will fall on these timbers and not on me. These look smaller than they are. These are pretty big timbers that I'm standing on. They're pretty thick. They're big enough to hold a decent amount of weight on them, much more than what I weigh anyway. Then you got the small pieces of lagging that's all notched in like that, and these round poles to stop all the smaller pieces coming out. All the bracing's done, the windlass is done, as you can see. That is very solid. I can actually push that as hard as I can, and I can actually, in fact, I can actually lean on it. My whole body weight, I can lean on it. Now I'm not gonna be pulling up something the weight of me on a bucket. So 20 kilo bucket, which is about that there. That's how much I've been gonna be pulling up. Fairly light compared to me. I'm about 65 kilos. So 65, 70 around there. Haven't weighed myself yet. I haven't weighed myself recently. These big long poles here, that's going to be a ladder that I'm going to work on today. See if I can try and get it done today. You might be wondering about these grubs. As you can see, there's one for a demonstration that just fell off. I'm not worried about them because they're only attacking the wood on the outside, and they're really just under the bark. They don't go through the wood. So, like I said, I'm not going to be here for a long time. All I'm going to do is deepen the shaft, and by the time they get into the wood properly, I'm going to be gone. So I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to worry about it, but I am going to strip it for dry rot, because I've discovered that the dry rot is a bit of a problem. Also, as I said, I'm going to backfill all that side with fill. As you can see now, it's a wooden box, so I'm going to put smaller poles in there, obviously. The ladder way I haven't finished yet. That's still down there, just there at that ledge. I'm going to put a stow in, a bit of a platform, have a ladder coming out just over here somewhere, just down there. This pit here is going to be all filled in so I can walk across to here safely. It's all going to have wood there. Yeah, so the windlass is done. I just need a bit of grease for that end up there, and probably this end up here. The grease is a lubricant, as you probably know, and makes everything run much more smoothly. And I've gone with this design because I could have just used these braces here for reinforcement, but I figured if I put these extra two here, it adds a lot more strength to the whole frame of the windlass, and you know, it doesn't wobble so much. And like I said before, apart from the windlass, which is allowed to turn, I've got to get that rope. Apart from the windlass that's allowed to turn like it's doing now, none of this, the majority of this, you can't push over. Like, I can't physically push these posts over, which is what you want. Because if I could, then I'd have to re-brace the whole thing. So yeah, there you go. That little pole's going to be fine where it is. It's wedged in pretty tight there, and it's nailed. Half of it's nailed to the post there. So yeah, I'm not too worried. Like I said, if I was going to spend any more than probably 2 years here, I would strip all the wood from the bark, and I'd probably do a proper job of it. But I'm not going to be here for that long. I'm going to deepen the shaft, get a bit out of it, and then kind of piss off. So yeah, I'm going to get to work and make that ladder way. Also, I've got another load of wood from the local tip, which I'm going to use for filling in that hole there, just that hole there and this bit here, because I don't really want to cut up you know, logs into square pieces with a handsaw. It's just too much work for me. As you see, here's my handsaw. There's my handsaw. That's what I've been using so far, even to cut up this big one. The chainsaw is blunt, so I can't really use the chainsaw. And the chainsaw is back at home anyway, so I'm not going to use it. All these here have all been cut by hand with the handsaw and then laid in place. Big job with doing it just by hand, but that's what you got to do sometimes when you don't have much else resources. So yeah, in that bag is my climbing gear, which is about to fall next to the tree. Anyway, that's my climbing gear, which I'm going to be hooked onto later on today. Alright, so I've just finished the ladder, first ladder for today. I do need two. This is going to be the longest one, but so as you can see, it's fairly long. I've still got to do the oar chute. This is what these planks are for. That little part there is already done, so you don't fall off the edge there. I'll show you what I've done underneath as well for reinforcing. As you can see, it's reinforced. Hang on. It's reinforced in there, so that's not going anywhere. Yeah, so it's all reinforced quite nicely, and this here supports the top of that there, so it's not so springy, because there's nothing else to support it really. But apart from that, it's working very nicely. And as I said before, I'm going to put a stell in, put a little platform in just down there somewhere where my finger is, and then attach the bottom of the ladder to the base of the platform securely, probably with metal strapping I'll use, because that's going to be strongest method, and notch it in as well. And it's raining, it's miserably cold and wet, and I've run out of nails again, so I'm scavenging what I can out of bent ones and straightening them. But yeah, that's your ladder. This stuff's like really hard type of wood. This I carried in here. This is from the tip. It's actually flooring. As you can see, it's that type of wood that's real hard. Pretty good for wedges. That's almost me done for the day, because it's raining and like, yeah, the weather's not too good. As you can see, it's just crap weather. Two of these planks are going to be for a ladder down below, another one to join up to this one here. And then after that I'll be able to go down the ladders and I won't have to worry about bringing ropes and stuff to go down. Also, that's come away a little bit there. I just knocked it down. It's resting on the timbers, which I'm happy about because it blocks off the rest of the mud and dirt from coming down. It is extremely cold. I'm wet as well. There's no shelter out here. It's looking good. I've still got to put grease on that other side over there. Stop it squawking and jamming when I'm pulling it up. Might be able to see it, hang on. Yeah, still does the same. Probably needs a bit of, I mean the water helps, but probably needs a bit of grease, I'd say. I've got to fix this too. That rope is in the wrong spot. As you can see, it's grinding up against there. It's grinding up against that. I've got to fix that. I've got to put it on the other side so that it doesn't. Alright, so I'm kind of stuck in the rain. Camera's fogging up a bit. Yeah, it's raining. I'm hooked onto the harness already, as you can see. I'm going to go down there and get a few bits of wood out of the shaft that I dropped down there. Have a look at that. Probably look better if I come here when it's not raining. But yeah, so I am in fact hooked up to the harness if anyone is wondering. Yeah, so I'll just go down there and get the wood before I get absolutely saturated with all the water dripping on me from the surface. And there's a lot of water coming down, but this is the inside of the cribbing done. As you can see over there, that platform that I showed you on top, that's that from underneath, and that's your rope going down there. I've got to get that bit of a tree shrub thing there out of the way. I want to put in the landing just here somewhere. I don't know where yet, but I'll work it out as I go. Yeah, but it's absolutely freezing and it's cold and wet, so I'm going to get the wood and hop out of here.